Should we do the wave?
The back home. We'll start over here.
So in accordance with Mass General Laws, Chapter 48, Section 11, notice is hereby given that the Bolton Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, June 28, 2017 at 7 p.m. in the Board of Selectmen room of Town Hall, 663 Main Street, Bolton, Mass. to hear and act upon an application of Mark and Leanne Kiefer, 23 Waterport Hill Road, Bolton, Mass. The applicant is seeking a variance for a proposed addition to the existing dwelling located in Bolton's residential zoning district, 23 Waterport Hill Road, identified on Assessors Map 4C as parcel 15. The applicant is seeking a variance for front yard setback pursuant to section 250-13-B of the Code of Town of Bolton. So, are you going to present?
Sure. I mean, so I'm planning a 16 by 16
And
addition. Excuse me?
You are?
I'm Mark Kiefer.
You are Mark, okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
So we need a setback for the front yard, because we've got about 30 feet. I think it's actually going to be 32, so it's going to be a little bit further back from the street than the plan shows. But
So it's
30 feet just to give me some.
the current house at 32 feet?
Geez, the current house is entirely within the setback. I think it's like 37 or 38,
Okay.
or 47 or 48 feet from the corner. Yeah, so the house is kind of right on the street.
Yeah, it looks like the front yard's like 15 feet off the street.
It is,
something like
yeah.
that.
So it's not more non-conforming, it's the question.
Right. And it's also a
Pre-existing house,
previously non-conforming house anyway, right, so.
but he's not making it more non-conforming.
Mhm. So, with regard to the requirements for a variance, the applicant's gone through and has an attachment to his application, speaking toward the fact that there are circumstances that exist relating to soil conditions, shape, or topography of the land structures that uniquely affect the land or structures, but do not generally affect the zoning district in which such land is located. And notes that the existing structure was built in 1925 and predates the town of Bolton bylaws. And the subject lot and the structures are existing non-conforming and the current building tied with the 50-foot setback. With regard to little enforcement of the provisions of the zoning bylaws would involve substantial hardship, financial or otherwise. To the applicant, the point they addressed is that due to the location of the existing non-conforming structure, no addition or alterations can be made without violating the front yard setbacks. Lot size already existing non-conforming can be changed. Desired relief may be granted without substantial detriment to public good. Again, the amendment proposed is designed in accordance with the style and architecture of the existing structure. It will not be substantial nor detrimental to the neighborhood. And that desired relief may be granted without nullifying or substantially derogating from our bylaws. It notes that the existing building predates town bylaws and would leave the setback to the existing house in addition to change. So, this speaks to each of the requirements for variance being granted. So the plan here is slightly different going forward, or do you?
Well, so that setback I had there is 30 feet,
Right.
but I'm going to be 32 feet back from the stone wall at the boundary of the lot. So, I just gave myself 2 feet just in case I end up, there's some wiggle.
So it'll be substantially within this sort of footprint.
Yeah. I have drawings of the structure too, if that's relevant.
So where's it going to,
Sure.
on these pictures, where is it going to be? On this side?
So that's just there's a side and front elevations on the back 2 pages.
not gonna increase the footprint of the house,
More than 50%.
yeah, so I mean, there's no issue there. Is there a septic system? Not that that really impacts us, but is a septic system anywhere?
It's on the other side. I've already talked to Bill Brookings and he's signed off on the permit, so. Because we're extending rooms, not adding rooms to the house.
The room count stays the same.
Right.
Larger.
Erica, do we get any feedback from any of the abutters or anything?
We did not, no.
Hey, I signed this plan.
Oh, you're the guy that caused this problem.
Did you?
Yeah, there he is.
Okay.
Oh, hello, sure. Question?
Yeah.
Could you just state your name and?
Yes, my name's Dan Williams. I represent Trinity Church across the street.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to come see, how this happens, how this works.
Right.
And, certainly when what I saw were her shoulders, it looks like a very nice addition to, to the community, so.
Right. Well, good, thank you for.
I guess I'm in a butter, even though I'm across the street.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, so the process, you would have been given notice that there's a hearing.
You got the notice.
And it gives you an opportunity as a butter to have your say or input heard, for or against, or questions, if you have questions about respond to. So everyone has a base of knowledge.
From what I'm seeing over her piece of paper here, that's, the concern is that it's 30 feet from the street, or what is the distance?
Current zoning is 50 feet, so.
Oh, got it.
So it's already.
Yeah, adding a room at 50 feet wouldn't help him too much.
No,
You have to go outside and go to something. Sounds good.
You can have a little breezeway.
Yeah.
I don't know. Underground.
Mark, can I keep those plans for record?
Sure, yeah,
That would
absolutely.
be wonderful. Okay.
So it's 2 stories.
2 stories
60 by
and
60.
attics.
Okay, and then
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm by the house. I should probably.
So it's gonna go all the way up to
Street's
the
gonna be
existing
wide.
roof line, the ridge.
Okay.
That's a good addition.
So the height, everything's pretty much staying the same, it's just the additions.
Right, right. The third floor is converted attic space, so it's not really all that useful anyway, but we're gonna use it for storage. We're gonna keep the same exterior, same trim and everything that exists on the rest of the house.
Right.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Are any trees coming down?
Yeah, I'll have to take 2 trees down that are well inside my property line. But yeah, we'll have to take, I don't know if they showed those photos, but there's 2 trees off of the corner there that'll have to come down.
Any other questions? No. You set, set? Any questions from the audience? All set? Good.
Oh, I've pretty much asked what I want to ask.
What's that?
I think I'm satisfied with it.
So, I'll make a motion to propose to grant the variance for the front yard setback pursuant to section 250-13.b of the Code of Town of Bolton, and with the condition that the proposed addition be constructed in significant conformity to the plans that are provided.
Okay.
Seconded by Andy, so All in favor of the motion to grant the variance, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So it's unanimous. All set?
Here, I'll
All set.
All set?
All set.
Perfect.
All right, thank you. Are you Erica?
I am, yes.
Okay.
Great.
For the townable?
Actually, no, it's, shoot, you know, it's
I have another check, actually.
it's on the invoice, I apologize. I should have put that here in the email.
It's still independent, we have this in.
So,
Okay, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
I have it here.
okay.
So Mark, there is a 20-day appeal period
Okay.
from when the decision is final. So right now, I'll go back to the office next week, write it up, they'll review it, Gerard will sign it for the board,
Okay.
submit it to the town clerk, and then that starts the 20-day appeal period.
So I can't have a permit signed within that
Mike?
period?
In terms of your building permit, you can
Right.
talk to Mike. Mike may say, proceed at your own risk.
Okay.
If for some reason someone appeals it, then that would be an issue. However, if the 20-day appeal period ends, then we'll release the permit to you, and then you just have to record it at the registry of deeds and you're ready to go.
Okay.
You received no mail on this one?
I didn't receive anything.
There we go.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. I can take that check back.
Yes.
To the home.
Here you go.
Thanks a lot. Okay, thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Forward 5 minutes from this.
It's listed as at 7:20, guys, so I guess we should wait a few minutes.
Actually, yeah, that check. Thank you.
We don't give a check.
I thought you had run out to Erica.
That's very nice.
So K.A. Wall.
Would it help?
Yeah.
For the file checks? I mean, the...
It's for the advertisement in the newspaper, yeah. Yeah.
I always knew that house as the Holbrook house when I was growing up, because the Holbrooks lived there. And Mrs. Holbrook, who was, as long as I can remember, was kind of housebound, but her job was she had to trigger the siren whenever there was a fire. And back then, they used to ring the siren, actually, all the fire departments around here at noontime would test them.
They do it at Birmingham.
Yeah, they would do, you'd hear the Bolton siren, the whistle in Marlboro or wherever. But, and it also when it snowed, that's how you knew that there wasn't school that day, because the siren would go up at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
She would
really?
trigger it, yeah.
From the house?
Yeah, yeah. It was, because the fire station was right next door, I think she had some kind of a, turned it on from inside her house. So, that was an important function back then.
Yeah, she did.
The fire bell.
Yeah.
Until she started going a little crazy with that whole...
What was that siren used to be on the old, the white building next to her?
That was the one that,
That was the-
that was the siren,
Yeah.
yeah. That thing was loud too.
Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah, it disappeared, I don't know when did that disappear?
Yeah, I don't know when they stopped doing that, I don't remember.
I mean, I saw it for years and then I noticed it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Somebody took
My
it.
guess is it stopped functioning, it wasn't worth spending the money, and everybody had phones and stuff now, so it's the heck with it, but.
Yeah. A little bit of Bolton town history about Jackson.
There you go.
The other one, I was talking with somebody the other day, we got a meeting outside, they were talking about, you know, like DDT and all that stuff. When I was a kid going to school at Emerson School, like where the vineyard is up on the hill, and across the other side of the street was all orchards, they used to spray that with an airplane. And it was so much stuff inside Emerson School, I wouldn't see it. You look across the room, I never wondered what that stuff was. But they would buzz right down through there, they, you know, and the whole center of Bolton was just filled with whatever it was they were spraying with the airplane. Yeah, it was unbelievable how
It
thick it was.
wasn't real good for you, huh?
It probably wasn't, but, you know, you never had any ants in the school or anything.
My aunt volunteered in France. She was at an orphanage after World War II. And they would literally dust everybody down with DDT.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of all the vermin and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was a kid growing up, the town, I lived in is Reading, and they used to come down the street every night with these tanker trucks blasting mosquitoes. It would take the paint off your car.
Well, my aunt lived to be 98, so maybe the stuff is actually good for you.
It didn't help the car, I know. Anyway.
We should have more breaks between meetings.
Yeah. This is gonna go viral.
Yeah, which clause?
3 minutes.
Let's go by the official cell phone, 3 minutes now.
I'm going by that clock, it's 7:20 in about 10 seconds.
Yep, works for me.
Okay, so we'll start the second hearing. I'll read the agenda. You have meeting notice in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 48, Section 11. Notice is hereby given that the Bolton Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, June 28, 2017 at 7:20 p.m. in the Board of Selectmen room of the Town Hall, 663 Main Street, Bolton, Mass. To hear and act upon the application of Carol and Robert Davis, 196 Berlin Road, Bolton, Mass. The applicant is seeking a variance for a proposed garage to the existing dwelling located in Bolton's residential zoning district at 196 Berlin Road, identified on Assessors Map 3C as parcel 70. The applicant is seeking a variance for front yard setback pursuant to section 250-13B of the Code of Town of Bolton.
Good evening. Yep, Brandon Ducharme with Ducharme and Dillis, standing in for Doug Story of two-story buildings. I'm here with Carol and Bob Davis, the homeowners. And basically, as you read, we're here for a variance to the front lot line setback. And the proposed project here is to construct or to add a garage. There's an existing two-story house here with no garage, so really the purpose here is to add the garage. It's an existing building lot. It's conforming. It's greater than 80,000 square feet. It has sufficient frontage. The existing house, meets the setback. This line here is the 50-foot setback. This is the existing house here. And I believe you've been before the board once already, maybe informally, to kind of discuss some options.
Yeah, it was an informal.
And, one of the thoughts at that point, well, I guess the restrictive things on the lot are there's a bordering vegetated wetland here in the back, that kind of basically wraps around the front. This orange line designates the 100-foot buffer zone. So we're kind of, working in this small area here, and we're also trying to, blend in this new structure the best we can to kind of be in harmony with the existing house and the existing yard. There's nice landscaping and everything in this area. One of the thoughts was, outside of the buffer zone, is to look at potentially doing something over here which would require modifying the existing septic system. They've gone before the Board of Health, and I think there was a letter included in the packet where basically the feeling of the Board of Health was they'd rather not see us modify or move the septic in any fashion.
There's the expansion field, just
The expansion field is right in this area here.
so that moves that out there.
And this is the existing well over here. It doesn't show in this plan, but basically if you stood out here too, the topography really falls off. This is a retaining wall here in the back, and the existing house is a walkout here. What we're looking at is a 20 by 24 garage, 2-stall. It's 16 feet in height. And what we're trying to do here is work off the existing structure, provide, this has about a little over 11 feet between the proposed garage and the existing house, and try to kind of set it within the footprint of the existing driveway. There's a paved driveway that comes up through here. Based on where we're showing it here, would be adhering to it, we're down to a 20-foot offset. And so you kind of get a feel for the property. I should probably best if you. This is the existing arbor, and there's a hedge line right along here, which you can see here. So the 22 by 24 box would basically, and again, this is the arbor and the bush, would kind of set right in here. And there's a little buffer. There's 2 good-sized trees here and an existing wood fence between Berlin Road and where that structure would be. It could kind of be set back here. And this is heading from Berlin, looking back towards Bolton. Again, you can see the trees, the existing fence, the arbor's in there. The proposed garage would be set back in that area there.
Is this in the same position as when you kind of talked to us informally?
Yeah, it's actually it's a little bit closer, actually. It's a little further away from the street because we understood that there's a 10-foot town right-of-way, I'm not sure what you would term that, so that we should be measuring, as far as we could.
So you actually
inland,
moved it
even
back from
ourselves.
the original?
It
Yeah.
came back, so I just know from working with Doug, initially when we went out to the survey, he wanted to kind of put this exactly in place with the
With the
kind of
driveway.
overlapping the driveway here.
Now it's
And,
here.
if he was looking at the fence, and, when you stand up there in the field, it looks a little farther, but, the right-of-way from Berlin Road actually goes right in beyond the fence. So, like I said, in order to get that 20-foot offset, which would be what the sideline offset would be, we would have to basically push that a little closer than kind of what they were originally thinking.
So there's no breezeway or anything connecting the garage with the house?
We're thinking of doing that.
Okay.
We're thinking
Yeah,
of it.
that's just an option, just for
Okay.
coverage. Yeah.
We actually thought of it when we moved the garage
Closer.
in, because it's so close, like, maybe.
It would make sense.
It would make sense, but we kind of haven't pursued that at this point, but.
What is the distance between the two?
It's about 11 feet, 11 and a half feet. So basically, there's like a 4-foot landscaped area here, a 4-foot brick patio, and then would be,
It's just big enough for all the snow to build up there.
Which I would end up showing.
So you reference a letter from the Board of Health. We did get one statement, April 12, 2017. It's from Chris Lane, Chair of the Bolton Board of Health. It says, "Dear board members, the board reviewed the septic system as-built plan for the above referenced property at the April 11, 2017 Board of Health meeting. The plan showed the sewer line from the foundation to the septic tank and from septic tank to distribution box to be in a straight line as required by Title 5, 15.222, paragraph 7, which states the building sewer shall be laid on a continuous grade and as nearly possible in a straight line in accordance with accepted engineering practices. It appears that moving the tank would create the need for bends, changes in direction of the sewer line, which is not the preferred layout as referenced above. The board does not feel that disturbing an existing operating system is in the best interest of the homeowner."
so essentially what Chris is saying is if we took this box and, kind of put it over here, and we're kind of fixed on this point here, so it And again, you'd be putting a bend ahead of the septic tank, you know, so you have salt in line, and potentially, you have to get a minimum of 10-foot setback from that, you push this tank back, they'd have to look at a pump, if not, it's slowly.
Yeah, what's the grade drop off there? That would be,
It's relatively flat, I would say, which is, you know, that's why I'd have to look at whether we could make gravity over there. I'd have to look and see what the elevation is going to that deep box there, I don't know how deep it is for grade.
But then again, you're then closer into the wetlands and.
Yeah, I mean, there's we do have, and the other thing we point out, there's a reserve area in here as well.
you gotta
So,
have
yeah.
reserve areas, so, you know, that encroaches on that at some point.
It's an uninhabited, essentially accessory type building. It's gonna do this thing.
Erica, we didn't hear from any butters or
No, we did
across the
not.
street?
Nope.
Every problem? Okay. And I probably have to apologize to you, because I'm willing to kind of push them to go to the board to help, because what I was afraid of is that somebody was gonna come back and say, well, why didn't you tell them to put the garage on the
Oh,
side?
no, I understand.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Cover all the bases.
Yes.
Well, first, to really issue a valid variance, I mean, if, you know, any property you can do it without requiring the variance or the special whatever, then that would definitely be something that would be appealable and, you know, be difficult for us to stand up on, so it's good that they follow that and, you know.
Yeah, no, I think the way it's laid out now is gonna work fine, so.
Yeah, I mean, the house across the street is a lot closer to the road than.
Oh, yeah, it's gotta be like 15 feet off the street line, yeah. it's not
Yeah,
very
our
far.
house is probably closer than that, I think it's
Yeah.
about 8 feet.
So, any other questions, comments?
I'm all set.
No, so,
Would anyone? I'm all set. I'm all set.
Do we have to close the hearing?
You know, I can make a motion, we make a motion to either accept or deny the variance, and then
Okay,
we'll close hearing after we have our
all right,
third item, so.
all right.
You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the plans on, what's the address?
So we're voting to grant the variance.
We're going to grant the variance on the 196 Berlin Road property in accordance with submitted plans and drawings by the client.
I'll second.
Seconded by Jack. So all in favor of the motion to grant the variance? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck. Good luck.
I have to think my car thing.
Well, but you gotta shovel that walkway.
Small price to pay.
Sure, we should have a motion to close that hearing.
Now, because of-
Yeah, I forgot to tell the board to motion to close the first hearing, actually. We didn't do that. But let's at least have a motion to close this one.
So motion to close hearing?
Yeah, I make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Formalities.
Before we have our third
Did you get it on television?
session.
Great. That's gonna go viral.
Oh, yeah.
They did close it. You know what, just so that I have it on paper, can we just also have a motion to close the first hearing?
I move that we close the first hearing.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Erica, this portion of the previous application where they addressed each of the
Yes.
issues, they did this on their own,
No, I always, when applicants call to tell me what they need to submit, I always point them right in that direction that.
Okay, I was gonna say, that maybe this should be a template for everybody who comes in.
I'm happy to create a template like that.
Yeah, that'd be
Everyone
great.
fill it out, yeah.
Because even in the last one, they could have addressed each of these issues and set it right in front of us,
Yeah,
so.
and we'll do that, it's a good.
It's a good document.
Not too bad. My partner in crime is not here yet, huh?
I'm sure you will be.
Hey, it's not time yet, anyway.
Right.
Yeah, it's really good.
She's usually working in the hallways, so.
Working in the hallways.
Does your daughter have a baby?
Sure he did.
She had it.
And then 3
Congratulations.
months after that, my son did.
Oh, wow.
So I got a boy and a girl in 4 months.
Oh, wow.
I can't believe I'm a grandfather at 29.
You know, there's so much more work that
It's Yuri Artie, U-R.
I'm sorry.
Yuri Artie, U-R-I-A-R-T-E.
And so you live here?
I am, like literally in that office right there, so that's like planning,
And so you do all the,
sort of like, yeah. So if you're looking at this message, just
Except
give
for
all
finding out
emails.
the early marketing,
I
right?
can help you.
little school was paging over at the church.
Oh, yeah.
So-
This last.
Somebody who's not from here, yeah.
And they'll figure that out. That shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah, that's the reason I came back and the people across the street, but I just wanted to get a feel for what goes on.
Yeah, yeah.
How old is your baby now? Is it 1 yet?
He's 15 months.
He's 15 months. Wow, time flies.
I know, it does. He's crazy. He just so
I
busy.
tell you, my job sometimes can be very stressful, you know, and demanding. I honestly can say, seriously, I see Mila, who's 4 months old. She puts a smile on my face. I forget everything. I don't even know where the hell I am at that point. You know?
When she becomes a teenager.
I tell you what, I don't have to worry about him. He's your own mother and father.
You'll still worry if
I was gonna say, I thought that too with my first 2 granddaughters. I said, you know, it won't be a big deal. And then my daughter moved home for a couple of months. 9 years later, they were still there in my house. It was like going, you know, starting all over again.
You weren't complaining though.
Sometimes I did. And you come home and you trip over the toys that you thought you put away 30 years ago and they were out again.
The Lego firewalk. The Lego store, they have a Lego firewalk for
Oh, yeah?
parents to walk across. So
Oh.
all those-
Trip over stuff in the middle of the night. But finally, they did move out. They got their own house and stuff, so that was good. But so.
No, I get disappointed when they don't come home. I'm one of those rare people that I want them to come back home.
Yeah. Well, I have my 2 granddaughters. They're older now. They're well, geez, they're 10 and 11. They're gonna be 11 and 12 this year. But I have 2 grandsons that are.
Younger?
One of them's just a year. This is my son's kid, well, just a year, and the other one is 3 years old. And they can be a handful. There's 2 boys, and they don't stop. I mean, they just
God, tell me about it.
go all the
boys.
time. Yeah.
Boys. I hope my next one's a girl. Oh, Lord.
I keep telling my son, his oldest son, the one that's 3 years old, he's into everything. And he's one of these kids, and you say, don't do that. And he just looks at you and does it.
That's my son.
And I tell my son, I said, that's the way you were when you were there. And I used to tell people that one of us is not going to make it to age 10.
We have 5 sold. 5 sold.
Good job.
First 6 months, nothing, and then all of a sudden, bang.
How many have you built?
Well, and the first 6, 4 are spoken for. One is affordable, and the other one is available, so we're gonna convert that to a model. But we sold 1 unit in the next phase, which will end up working next.
Did you sell the affordable one?
Yeah, we haven't done the lottery.
Oh, okay.
So most likely we'll end up doing the lottery to include the other 2 that are coming up in the next phase.
Same time, yeah.
Yeah, because we'll end up doing 2 of them. We'll get them done, half of it now and then the other half.
I was just curious, because I talked with a couple other people that have other 40B projects, and they've been having a hard time finding people that will fit.
Qualified?
Yeah, they qualify because, between the income brackets and everything else, there's just not an awful lot of
So
people.
you know that the sales price is based on an income derived?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so if
yeah.
you make, let's say, $61,000, and that's the income limit for, let's say, 4, what most people do is they price it based on the $61,000 price level. What we do is we discount the value so that somebody who is making, let's say, 90% or 85% of that income would still qualify to buy, so we can open up a greater range.
Yeah.
So you don't make 170, you make 169, but,
Yeah.
or 165, let's say.
Well, I think you're right, that's the problem, is they're trying to shoot for that
The
little
maximum they can get,
and it's
and
just so.
it's tough to get the people.
Yeah. Well, that's good, it'll be good to see, get some people who qualify for it too, so.
There will be. I mean, Mark's office has a clearinghouse that does a lot of affordable housing for other developers who are building these. So, their office gets quite a few inquiries, yeah. Hi, Mark. Here, I'm sitting in front of the board and they're all complaining at me that you're not here yet. Yes, I know, they said that you won't be here until 7:40.
So tell him we'll grant him this one exception, because he's usually waiting for us.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you had to delay the library.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you hung around for at least an hour then.
Okay, all right. Yeah, see it, yeah. He sounds like he's almost here, couple minutes.
He's probably doing it by his cell phone, his car.
Bye now.
Yes.
And another thing.
This is must-see TV, I'm sure. Sitting at home riveted.
I'll put you to bed tonight, that's all.
You've been needing more sleep anyway.
Procedure, do they normally wave the camera off in between?
No,
No.
it still
It stays off the
goes.
whole time?
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't being disrespectful to the board by joking around earlier. Just want to be on record here.
Yes.
But that lone resident feels disrespected. You'll hear from that.
Probably would.
You ever seen the bear sightings around here? Somebody talked about the area, and they talk about the
Yeah.
path where they come from.
Yeah.
Time to burn.
You must have called from the parking lot.
I was coming downtown, I knew I was gonna protect, but I made it. Take it. Want me to sit up here?
The delay is substantial, but the plan may not be.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Yeah. So for the viewing audience, because this is televised tonight, this is not a formal hearing, it's a business meeting. And so this is to hear from Mark Hagan from Craftsman Village at Brigham Farm, 40B project, Sugar Road. The ZBA is scheduled to review minor modifications to eliminate detached garages and provide attached garages and for review a revised A&R. And what we do after the review is, especially with 40B projects, we have to make a determination that the proposed changes are not substantial to the project, thereby not having to open up the 40B permit process. How about it?
Thank you very much. And I think I submitted copies of this. Does anybody have one? I realized when I scanned it, it was all on the 11 by 17 for the plans, and the letter came across that way, so I apologize. What isn't included in that package, but was forwarded to Erica, and you may have gotten as well. Yeah, okay. So that deals with the drainage aspects of the plan, so I have copies of that if you guys don't. And what I will do is, I've got a large scale copy of the plan, but maybe I can start with the small scale, because it highlights a couple of the changes, the new and the old. So as I start with the original plan, which is on page 2 of the packet that I gave you, this first phase has been constructed. In this first phase, which is down here, which are units 13 through 18, so down here we've got 6 structures and the 1 detached garage for 2 units. So in here, that's all in and done. That's this phase here, okay? What we have as you wrap around the property is that we had in what generally phase 3, we had detached garages on this backside, and then we had a few over here as well. We've been really, actively marketing the project, since about the beginning of the year, since we had the model and things finished up. And we're just not finding people being comfortable with attached garages. We have sold everything but 1 on the first phase, and we've got a couple on the next phase, so things are moving along okay. But there just really hasn't been much of an appetite for it. So we looked at doing a redesign that would kind of keep the same general look and feel, but, part of all the courtyard designs, that was, the focus of that was, that's the reason we had some of the detached garages. So trying to find a mix that
I was
kept...
going to ask that question, what's the impetus for the initial inclination to go with detached garages?
Really, it was these courtyard designs, having people focused in there, and keeping the, the vehicular traffic, all the way to the outside of the property. And to do that and have access to some of the buildings that were further away, the detached, seemed to make sense. We've done it in some other locations, but a little closer in towards Boston, out here, we're just not finding the appetite for it. And so we've looked at the site plan and said, okay, how can we keep the same general look and feel, but get rid of these detached garages that are problematic. So we went to this second page, but I'll show you on this one since it's a little longer, easily viewable. So that just kind of gave you the history of it, and we can look back. That's next. Over here. So what we did is on, and it's really primarily in this zone here. So if you look on your small plan, you're going to see there was a detached garage here. Right, no, that's the old one. That's the new one. Yeah, if you go to the old one that way, at least you can see it. So in here, remember we had this kind of corner dogleg to have the garage attached to it. This was an attached garage. I mean, a detached garage that serviced a couple of homes. We pulled that out, we slid 24 over. Pretty straightforward. That's a garage under, just like 23. So really where we made, that's, really de minimis overall. Where we made the change back here is that instead of having this looping road that went in the back and serviced with detached garages that you can see, we're doing a small kind of an alley road to service 6 houses here. So these 3, we kind of flipped around so they are, kind of have the same kind of courtyard feel with this group of homes, where this is all green space in between, and then these back 3 homes, they don't get the benefit of that courtyard approach,
But we've got, they're out overlooking wooded space, essentially green space, that we think will be attractive as well. And so for these, 25 ends up being a garage under, and the rest of them actually all be an attached garage. The other thing with the way that these buildings are designed, you may recall, we had some that didn't have full basements back here. Again, we were trying to, maintain certain grading. With these three houses that would have been on a slab, essentially the way that the garage is located, we can step the house up a little bit. So, and by pulling these houses up a little bit, we get it out of the water table we were worried about. So I think only this one unit here might have a slab. It's at the original grade and the proximity is close. So by doing this, we pull it out, we lift them up a little bit, but we maintain, the same general grade that we have here. So that, is really the difference back here. In this front zone, going up towards really 1 through 12, if we look at the cluster closer to the street, again, pretty modest adjustments. We took this detached garage here in the corner and it shifted these houses, again, with an alley design. So these homes are really substantially in the same place. They moved slightly. So we maintain the same cluster. And over here, again, with this alley, we took this house that was very close to the wetlands, and we actually flipped it over here. So we've got, again, a similar design, and with some minor tweaking and moving around, we're able to really, we got rid of the detached structure here and a couple throughout. So all of these end up being attached instead of detached, and these two become attached instead of detached as well. So it's really the main adjustment is this short little drive, similar to this one that we've got 3 houses we're servicing on. And really, this house, you kind of went like that, but it's further away from the wetlands overall, and still gives us that flow that we wanted. So we felt with these modifications, really the look and feel of the project, we were able to maintain. These are all, the same size homes that we had. I think the biggest difference, these 3 homes really are kind of flipped around and aren't as integrated as they were, but we have felt, from a marketing perspective, with the benefit of, really having a very private view out over all the green space, that's attractive in and of itself.
Are any of those affordable, or is it?
Yeah, there's 2 affordables here, there's 1 affordable here, there's 1 here.
You said that they're not integrated with the project, and those
one of them
units are?
One of them would be, and they're still integrated with the project, it's just the orientation of the building is a little bit different. So one of these, I think this and this would be the affordable based on what we had, and, 1 here. So overall, we felt that by doing this, gives us, the flexibility to, to meet the needs of the people that are interested in the property. There's no more units. We did have Sue do an evaluation, and talking with Erica, she knew that you guys were going to ask. She was curious, and she knows Concom would ask, what's this do for drainage and all that stuff. Overall, we're not, there is a net decrease. The homes themselves and the walkways is all a wash. Whether the garage was attached or attached, it's the same space. Right. It's the same size that's just attached to it instead of being different. So that all kind of washes out. And where the biggest change is that this section of road, we're essentially going to be taking up.
So you're losing pavement in total?
Yeah.
So it helps in drainage?
Overall, it's a nominal adjustment when basically we're incorporating these 2 short drives and we're getting rid of this and then some of the peripheral sense. So the net adjustment was, I think, 2,500 square feet or something like that. So pretty modest, but it is a net adjustment negative. So we're not creating any more area. I think as it relates to conservation, we have pulled things away further. These buildings and stuff is further away. This building is further away. We will need to meet with them to modify the permit. If this is acceptable to the board, we would do that.
But any impacts with the building department?
No, it actually makes it, better in some ways. One of the things that you may recall we went around on with the fire department was the access.
That's what I
For these homes, they couldn't get directly to the homes. So we had looked at building up these fireways, and at the end of the day, we said, you know what? For these homes that are off the edge, we'll just sprinkle them because it made more sense than trying to create it. So by doing this, they now have access to all the homes, immediate access to, directly up to the home. So I think they'll view it favorably. And I think not having the slabs is a benefit as well. There might be 2 of them on the property instead of 6, but pretty nominal in terms of the adjustment. Septic systems, all the same, they're all in the same locations, no changes for that. Septic tanks move a little bit, so, we'll have to put those with the, go to the Board of Health with those, but there's no, it doesn't change the permit, and even, on this next phase that we're gonna be working on, nothing's changed, just this building. And on these, they changed the tanks, but overall, again, it's same flow, everything's still gravity just like it was, everything still works.
So you say these alleyways, that would go back, those are wide enough for...
It's the same 20 feet, it's the same, same as everything else that we have on the property. So that we needed to comply with it, and we will. The distance that you're looking at is pretty modest. I mean, you're 25, 50, you're probably 100, maybe 120 feet. It's nothing.
So then so the houses that we're going to have sprinklers, they won't have sprinklers now?
No, we won't.
They won't need to.
We won't need them. Yeah, we won't need them. And the only area we had to, up here, we had to build a supported turf, really just to deal with these 2 houses to a certain point. They need to be able to get their trucks within a certain feet from one side of the house. So in here, we built it up, and that's in and installed, but that's the only place that we would need to do it. Everything else, I think they'll be much happier with this. We're able to pick up a little more parking here, that we didn't have, where we had, this is, guest parking where it was, a structure before, so, kind of tucked around, wherever we could pick up a few spots we could. So that works. And this area, this whole lane that was close to the wetlands here and close to the wetlands, essentially will go back to green space.
Since it's not specifically addressed in this mass.gov guideline here, do we know that there's any precedent for determining substantiality for the change from detached to non-detached?
Mark, go ahead, you can answer.
It isn't even a criteria. Garaging isn't a criteria or any of the modifications. If we went to attached home.
It's kind of vague, because it just says
attached home to detached home would be
change in form.
Yeah.
So.
But where it's just the garaging, I don't think in any way. I mean, we went through a more detailed evaluation of substantial versus insubstantial. We did this plan as an insubstantial change. So taking garaging and attaching it versus detaching it, I don't think it has any. That's my opinion. I don't know if I think Erica would agree, but
I think the size, if you were changing the sizes dramatically, they really focus on the structure of the house. The type, if you went from townhouse to high-rise, or you went from...
Right, nothing is anything about garaging, but I don't want to make sure that we're...
Yeah, if all of a sudden we made this a townhouse community, that would trigger it. But the garaging, it's the same thing, lots of affordable projects, they're approved with no garaging, and people can do it on an optional basis. So, so sometimes they don't have it and they do have it. So whether they have it and it's here, and then it's attached to it, or under, fundamentally, it's the same, it's all the same product. So I don't think that's a concern.
Because they were approved with garages, so I think the fact that it's just where they shift those garages within the property seems...
Right, everybody's still getting the 2-car garage, which for me is, if you don't have garaging, whether it doesn't matter if it's an affordable home, a market home, a $400,000 home, or $800,000 home. You don't have a garage, you just got crap outside that no one wants to look at. So having the two-car garage to me is really important for all of the homes. But I don't see that as being an issue as it relates to substantial and non-substantial.
And Jared, you don't know of any precedent for this?
Yeah, I agree with Mark on that.
I was gonna say, I
question.
mean, I've seen on some other projects stuff that you would think was significant.
Yeah.
That some boards just gonna look the other way.
Yeah.
There isn't any
Same people
clear,
double the size of homes and, shrink them
Yeah.
up and do all
and
sorts of...
there really isn't any clear definition anywhere of what substantial is. It's kind of left up to.
Well, I think we look at it, if we have 25 houses and they come in 40 houses, that's substantial.
It's more than 10%.
Well, that's
More
sort
than
of,
10%
that's stuff
is
that's
substantial, yeah.
addressed in these guidelines that we have, the mass.gov guidelines, but it doesn't say anything about garages, so.
Yeah.
And my suspicion is it's more like if you make a significant change that way, it's so that you get public input again as to
You
what's
gotta
going
have to
on.
open things
So
up.
that- I mean, it might even be a better idea to do that substantial change, but without letting everybody know about it, they just.
No, you gotta
Somebody should
reopen
do
it at
that,
that point, yeah.
Yeah, and here where it's all in and going smaller, that was one of the big conversations we had before. This was 42 houses, we go to 30, is that, is that negative, going down isn't considered substantial, and that's how we looked at it before. Here, again, I don't, everybody's getting a two-car garage, it's just the proximity to the house.
And Mark, you have units out there already that have the underneath garage, so.
Oh, yeah, we had the underneath garage, we had the attached garages, so
Right.
we just adding,
It's not a wholesale change, it's a change in the distribution.
Yeah.
That's really all it is.
The percentage.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And we brought up before that there's not going to be no change in affordables,
Nope.
affordables not being offered, anything different.
Same as what they had before, same number.
I
So
mean, percentages of detached, I mean,
Yep.
for
that's all the same. Everything is still detached. And I mean, the affordable units are gonna get attached garages, which is really nice. Before, I think we had 2 of them on the property. Now there's gonna be,
no doubt it's going to be
five of
better
the
better for
affordables.
marketing purposes.
Yeah. Yeah, probably 5 of the affordables now have attached garages where, quite frankly, we loaded up the detached on the affordables before. So I think the affordable buyers are actually going to do pretty well with this modification.
Probably better for the affordables.
I think so. Because there's not, with the homes that were further away, it created some orphan homes, that had, it would be really nice to have it and to enjoy the space, but that wasn't outweighing the stroll from the garage to the house. And those were the homes that we did put as many affordables on as we could for obvious
Winter
reasons.
months, bad weather, I mean, it's just easier to.
Right.
I'm just curious, I mean, it really doesn't play into this, but I wanted, what kind of people are interested in buying these?
We're getting a mix, and part of the issue that we had, and it had to do somewhat with this is the phase that made the most sense to start. We can, have the sales trailer, have the building. But most of the homes here weren't really ideal for the age-restricted buyer. Well, not age-restricted, but the homes that have the first floor master, it's a nice layout for them. And we had a lot of people that come in and put deposits on homes, and they'd say, you know what? I don't want to have to walk upstairs, or I don't want a detached garage.
Well, that's what I was curious, if that's what was driving, if it was
Yeah.
older people and they wanted the attached garage, so they didn't have to go outside.
Yeah, that's part of it, and we always had some, and they were like, oh, we'll come back. And so it was really that, that combination of, getting the right mix. The people, really the bulk of the people in the first phase are more, not young, but, our age, not young, but not old. But in, some, older professionals with, one kid or the kids are gone, that kind of stuff, but not, a 65-year-old couple that is, doing a full downsize approach.
Yeah.
So, they're making lateral moves, and even we see it more as a lifestyle, some people are selling, even if, they have kids, they've got other places, they want to go to the Cape, they want to go to Maine, they want to go to wherever they go,
Yeah.
and just don't want to have to deal with all the work in the house, which is, significant for a lot of people. So I think with the more attached garages, we're going to get, we're going to capture some of those people that were coming by saying, we really love this place. I don't know if anyone's been over to the homes. People are really happy with the homes, but it's been an issue, the garaging. Both the ones that are under aren't attracted to them either. So, and that's just the nature of the site of where we are. So this, I think opens up the market to us a little more. In fact, to kind of, some of the core group that we always felt we'd have a mix of, more younger professionals and then, more empty nester downsizing group. And didn't figure we had as many up front here, but, this will just let us serve that population better, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it. Any other questions about the plan? I've got one other thing that I want to talk about that we were going to ask for some specific action this evening. As part of this redesign, and this goes on the third page that you had, there's an A&R plan. It has a kind of a red line A&R plan. Yeah, that one. So on the plan, it's a crazy layout. There's a lot of, whether it's a backland lot, group of homes, or here with the way that we deal with wells and septic, it's somewhat of a irregular configuration, made more so by some of the garaging. A couple of the criteria that we have to meet with the well and septic on a lot is nitrogen loading. We need X amount of acreage for X amount of services. So in some of the lots, we were at that number, and so where we shifted a lot line to take off a garage or add a garage, or this little section here in particular, where we put the house, we had to add that space somewhere else. So the revised plan, which is here, is actually, ends up being, a cleaner plan. Like this stuff is eliminated. That little dog leg over here, this is eliminated. But this parcel flips to here, and then this strip that you see flips to here. So we need to be at the 2.76. So this one, and this one with the 2.76, these had extra acreage. So we just had to flip around those lot lines. And typically I wouldn't say, hey, geez, could you act on this tonight? But part of the issue we have is the lot that is, because of this space, that is most affected is the first lot that has the homes, and we're starting conveyances. And if we conveyed it and didn't change the lot line, then it's like a huge legal issue of having everybody to sign off
I'll
for
let
it.
it do that.
Yeah, so we were going to close, actually, it was originally set for tomorrow, and we kicked it off to next week. But if the board, determines that the changes aren't substantial and is comfortable with the plan and would see fit in endorsing the MyLaw for the revised A&R plan that goes with the new one, then we can go ahead, do the conveyance with the new plan and have everything in order from a legal perspective. So it's all the same. Everything ends up it being the same acreage. It's just, a couple of those little swaps that we're trying to clarify. So those are the two specific requests for the evening. One is if you feel that you consider the plan to be that if you can determine it to be non-substantial and accept it, that would be great. And then the second is if you could, going along with that approval, approve the revised A&R plan and endorse the MyLaw, we'd be forever grateful. Forever? Forever.
Okay. Forever, nice.
Forever is a long damn time.
Unless you're a politician.
Well, I'm not, so. Sometimes we play one on TV.
So all this is, you're saying is this is just keeping the acreage size at the 2.76?
Yeah, we're just swapping it, and it even, it even delineates out the parcels over here. This is parcel, parcel C. So it is, taking 2.96 plus parcel C minus this. So these little individual areas that are being adjusted are delineated here.
There's 6 of them?
There is, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is there 6? There's 5 lots. I think there's 5, I think it's 5 changes.
There's 6 written.
No, one right here, I'm sorry, small one here. So a small little corner here that you see in the red. And this piece, this little crazy leg we're getting rid of because we don't need it anymore. This piece here is swapped out with this strip. And then the dog leg. And then again, just straightening out the lot lines for the
6.
So those are the 6 modifications. And it does create a little more organized, contiguous plan, so.
So we just have to meet with Concom. If we approve this, is that still allowed you to then go see them?
It still allows us to do it. Theoretically, if you approve this and they don't approve it, then it's our risk. We can still make this first lot work with the change, so even if we had to go back, we could do what we're doing. But I do think that they'll find there's less pavement. We have pulled away from it, so we're comfortable with that risk, and we've had a very good relationship with them. So I think we'll be, we need to do it, but I don't think we have any problems.
From a conservation perspective, it's a better plan than we had before.
Yeah, I think it is. So we will, if this board accepts it, we'll meet with them. But here, and we're building this lot, which doesn't have any wetland implications. So we really just, if they had any issues, it would be dealing with these last 2, and so we have time to work it out with them if there is. But generally, I think that they will be happier. We have less wetland impacts overall, so I don't see it as being a problem. But we will.
There were issues with them, and you had to change it. You'd have to.
We'd have to come back.
Determine that anyway. So
Right, we'd have to come back, yeah, so we'd still be with control. But we have the time, we get these conveyances done that we're dealing with, we can go forward and build 5 out of these 6 homes at least. So there's only 1 that changes at all on this lot. So, we felt that, yeah, we can keep moving, and we have time to meet with them and make sure that they're comfortable. But bottom line, I genuinely think that they'll be happier with this plan, with the way we've been able to pull away from the resource area, and we've got a modest decrease, but we're not increasing anything. So.
Okay. Any questions?
No, the first issue is whether this is a substantial.
Right, we have to determine that it's not substantial. So,
Yes, to raise question whether it is or not.
Right, so, as we said, Eric had given us some guidance from Mass to give you some examples of what's substantial versus what's not substantial. Generally, the substantial is, you're looking at an increase in size of greater than 10%, or they're changing the type of structure of the home from one type to another. Conversely, what's not so substantial would be the reduction in the number of units. So if you had a 60 density and you say, well, we're changing to be 40, that's not substantial because you're going downward, or a decrease of less than 10%. So everything's staying the same, other than they're just
They're going to change the lot lines, and we're going to basically attach the garages.
It's all the same. It's all the same area. We're not taking anything away from the site.
So do you want a motion?
Yeah.
Is this 2 different issues though?
One is the first to determine that it's insubstantial or non-substantial, and then we can determine if the size of an R is acceptable.
But I mean, do you have to determine substantiality on both issues? On the land reconfiguration and on the... detached versus?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
That's the first one.
On the A&R, I don't think.
I know
so.
my planning board background was that things slight changes in lot lines were always considered insubstantial unless they had a major.
I'm not saying it would be substantial, I'm just saying, do we have to make a determination that the A&R changes are?
I don't believe
No,
so.
I don't think so.
no.
I think it's only on the actual structures.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you're comfortable, you can do it, I would be, you
Yeah,
know, take the belt and
lot
suspenders
lines
approach.
changes is usually considered an insubstantial change.
I would agree with that, I just didn't know whether we needed to make that formal.
So, so I'm going to do two separate ones, one on each point, and then we'll cover both.
They'll cover both, okay. I would make a motion to declare the changes at the Craftsman Village to be insubstantial.
Right, so just to clarify, that would just be the eliminate the detached garages and provide attached garages.
According to the plan, yeah, eliminate detached garages. Do we want to deal with the lot lines at this point, or do we want to leave them?
We'll do that one first, and then we'll do the
Yes,
second.
okay.
So I have a motion to determine the elimination of attached garages to provide attached garages as not substantial.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Jack. So all in favor of the determination? Aye? Aye. Okay. Getting close to, eternally grateful.
Say eternally, that's completely different. I said forever, that means when I'm standing there. When I'm in the ground, that's eternal. By then, you'll be eternally grateful that I'm gone.
How many bites of the apple do these guys get? Oh, good, yeah.
So on the roll, do you want to do the second one, Jack? Brad?
Somebody else want to take a
All
shot?
right, I'll do this one. I make a motion that we determine that the lot line changes as proposed are insignificant to the overall plan, so that, what do I say, insignificant? Not substantial, that's what I was saying, non-substantial changes to the overall plan.
And accept.
That we accept it.
So we accept
Accept the
that.
revised A&R
Yeah.
plan. Okay. Well, I'll second that. So all in favor of the second determination that the revised A&R plan is not substantial, and to accept that plan, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, would you bring a good pen for the Mylar?
I was gonna say, let me go grab the
usually
pen
what happens.
before you move on.
That's part of the reason I checked to see where we were meeting. You were saying.
Yeah, they're only good for about 3 Mylars.
Yeah, I know.
Do you have the Mylar?
We have the Mylar. I come prepared.
My classic story is I did a project a number of years ago in Templeton, and it took forever. They had a 9-member planning board, and half the time they were asleep or they wouldn't show. So we finally got the subdivision approved. We went back the following 2 weeks later to get it signed, and 4 of the members that had voted the prior 2 weeks to approve it said, "We've never seen this plan before." Wait a minute, guys.
Time!
Okay.
They weren't videotaping that one, were they?
Nothing underneath them.
Luckily, their planning board council was there and told them that they had already approved it. So they had to sign it.
How many papers do you require? Just 1 Mylar, is that all we need?
Yeah, there's one Mylar, and then I've got a sheet for you guys that you can have, and, it'll be recorded. So,
Any special spot? Under,
no, I think you just do date of approval today, date of endorsement today, and then a little John Hancock, and,
It's already going up.
June 29th?
2018, no.
thanks.
Date of endorsement? Is that-
That's today too.
It's the-
Yeah.
Any individual member signatures?
I think that's what it is. Now that's there for a
I
turn.
feel like Donald Trump.
You gotta hold it up.
Maybe we should move.
And then you have to tell somebody else they're so wrong.
Big league.
Big league, yeah.
Big league.
Thank you.
It's amazing Sharpies don't like Mylar for some reason.
You stick right here, Andy.
Are you signing the paper copy as well? That needs to, yeah, I would like them, I would like them to sign
It's good to
that.
have a signed paper copy, just for your files,
Yeah.
Sign twice. You gotta sign
Oh,
twice.
up here, all right, yeah, all right.
That line, yeah. Feel like radar. There you go, you're on line number 2.
Already signed?
Not the
Walter, go next. Skip the line.
I haven't signed a plan for 15 years.
I was gonna say, yeah, since I was on the planning board, I haven't signed any either.
It's longer than that, it's 17 years.
I refuse to sign.
Thank you, this is for your records, so.
So I left the planning board in '87, I think, so it's been a long time since I signed any plans.
All right.
Awesome.
I'll take that with a Mel tomorrow morning.
Okay. That whole one, that's for you.
Just one copy, you can.
Yeah, do you want another blank copy, or it's up to you?
I would like two if
Two.
you
Okay,
have
we'll
two.
have two, yep.
Or-
One signed, one not.
That's fine.
Take that, well, thank you very, very much.
It's good to hear you guys get some sales. That's good.
Yeah, so we like that first phase, we've got one that's available, and then we've got 3 people we're working with on the second phase, trying to finalize some agreements, so we're gonna be starting work on that, and I think hopefully with the changes and the attachments in the back as we get started, then, those will be good. So we're hoping this year, really to get the rest of the foundations in, the next 12 foundations in on that side, and then, building out through the winter as needed, and then next year, really across the street, finish it up with that.
Yeah, that's great.
So, get out of here and move on.
I got a question for you. We're on the roll, maybe it's a good time to bring up the affordable one.
Oh, well, yeah, that's one thing. We have the designation of the affordable unit, there's 2 units here.
Next to each other?
Next to each other, 15 and 16. So we had number 16 that was designated as affordable. Quite frankly, we thought it was, this one has a little walkout basement and a slider and stuff. We're working with a woman right now, and we keep telling her, you really should do 15, but she says, I really, really want 16. I don't want to be as close to the street. If she wanted to flip from, and if we flipped her to 16, we'd be flipping the affordable to 15, which we had as the affordable original.
We wanted to know if it's okay for us to work with Erica on making those minor changes on the location of the affordable units between one and the other. So instead of being 15 and 16, and 16 being the affordable, we wanted to reverse it.
Is there any substantial difference in the units?
They're all the same. We only got 2 kind of units.
I mean, the finish and everything else is the same.
They're not finished. So this affordable, actually, there's a slight change. She's getting less space if she takes the affordable upstairs. It's like a 3-foot bump up. I mean, the 15 is the more desirable unit. It has the sliders in the basement. We're like, we wouldn't have put it in if we thought it was.
To answer your question, in this particular instance, the benefit goes to the affordable buyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same structure. Yeah.
Okay. But the one that's going to become affordable is actually the nicer one of the 2.
That is,
correct.
that's in our opinion, that's why we, between the 2 of them, we had 15 as the affordable, because originally we're like, well, it's closer to the street. But where we could put in the slider downstairs and they could have, some natural light and finish the basement if they wanted. We said, you know what, we think that one will be more attractive. And
The suggestion to work with Erica is only because of the plan changes that we've made and the configuration of the homes are a little bit different because we have the driveway between the garages. we hadn't really determined which ones they should be there for because they're not anymore in the same location.
So are you talking about photos in general or just these two?
Right now, we just want to do that one.
Yeah, we want to make it, we're dealing with that, we're dealing with this one. The next one that's designated is here, that's not going to change. And then I think it was like 27 and 29, which are different. So exactly, which one's here, we can go through it with Erica and see what makes sense.
So that's what I'm trying to clarify. But we're just talking about making a determination right now that these two are fine, and then you're saying leave open anytime you want to change someone with the photos, it's up to.
No,
Just for now.
I'm saying right now, just those two, but the designation of the new locations of the affordable units, because they're different locations.
Because the configuration of everything changed.
It's different. We don't want to burden you, but if you want us to come here to designate the location, we can do that anytime you want to. It's not a problem for us.
So I would think that while we're here, we can make that determination. This,
Oh, definitely.
and then say any others would
Yeah.
leave it up to Erica's judgment to
Right.
say, if she thought that way, then that is pushing it, or we think we have to, then we just ask you to come back.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I was suggesting.
Yeah, because it's, we have.
As long as the units are the same number of units and they're in the same phases of which one really is immaterial, because like you said,
Yeah.
they're basically all the same unit
Right.
design.
And we've got one, there's one on every lot and two on 3 of them. So these first two have one, and then it's 2, 2, 2, 2. So, it's the same number of units. We're still always going to be within that 1 to 4 ratio that we're
Yeah.
dealing with.
I mean, the whole idea is that, they're spread around so you don't have everybody clustered in one corner.
Exactly. And they are spread around. So yeah, that would save us, we can just deal with Erica. If she has questions and she wants us to talk to you about it, we certainly can. So, with people coming in, having a little flexibility sometimes, it's always interesting to me when, we can have, all of us could sit down and say, what are the most desirable and what, which ones would we want? And everybody has a different answer, and then someone else comes in and they have a completely different answer. And perfectly logical thinking for their needs, but it's just not your needs, so it's hard to dictate. So having a little flexibility to be able to accommodate, the specific needs of a market rate buyer, where all things being generally equal is helpful for us. That would be great. So if we can do that with Erica and any questions, we come back to you, that would be great.
So I would document that in a minute, so when you write them up, so
Yep, I
that
will.
there will be a question down there and say, wait a second, start answering and around again.
For the flipping of the 15 and 16, it's okay tonight? We can say that?
Yeah, I don't see any issues with that.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, so, anything else?
That's it.
We'd like a donation. We wanted the town to buy the 8 affordable lots for $250 a piece instead of the $180 we can sell them for. And, so we have ACPA money? Can we get money that was going to be designated?
I think we
town
should
common?
close that.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you again.
For everything. It's always good to see everybody. Have a nice summer, have a nice 4th. Take care, bye-bye.
So 2 minutes, right? Nothing,
Unfortunately, I've been so busy, I just haven't
no,
gotten
that's
to
fine.
write.
So we're saying there's nothing else for the agenda, so
Nothing else,
we can
just to adjourn.
adjourn, so motion.
Will we adjourn?
Okay, second? Second by Kay, so we will adjourn at 8:25.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Everyone have a good holiday.
Yeah, you too. Have a good one.
Good job, Kay. It's time to leave.
We turn the lights off. Anyway,